Well, thank you, Sri and Pattu, for initiating the recording. Pranams, everyone. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to this third of the three introductory sessions that we planned as part of season one of this Joyful Vedanta Satsang, the journey that we have started. This is Ravi speaking. I feel it's my real divine, blessing that I have this opportunity to be part of coordinating this journey for 50, 60, 100, nearly 100 of us getting onto this journey. There is a lot of behind the scenes activity that is going on to get this journey up and running for us. My request to you, every one of you, is to stay the course, participate actively, out as much as you can from this journey. Before we proceed with the agenda for the day, I request Ranga to.
Ravi, I muted all, Ravi. Sorry, please unmute Ravi.
Yes, I'm unmuting. I'm requesting Ranga to start the session with the opening prayer. Ranga, over to you.
Thank you so much. As usual, our minds come from different contexts. So let's first settle the mind. Silence is the simplest way to settle the mind. So let's take 30 seconds silence. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunattu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Pranams, Namaskarat, everybody. Hearty welcome. Over to you, Ravi.
Yes, Ranga. So I'm just reflecting on, the more I think about that today's session is the third of the three introductory sessions that we planned. I was just, jogging the memory line on 5th October, 5th of this month, on a very auspicious Vijayadashmi day. We had the introductory session, and very quickly we decided that we will have three intro sessions, and two of them were done on 30th and 20th, 13th and 20th of this month. And the recordings of those are available in the YouTube channel. Those who attended live, or those who could not attend live and still joining us newly, or many of us who would want to go back and listen to that again and again to get the real meaning or different perspectives from those sessions. So please go back. Firstly, like and subscribe to that YouTube channel, and secondly, please listen to those recordings as many times as we can. So having gotten the introductory session or the launch and the two intro sessions behind us, today brings us to what Ranga calls as season one of this Joyful Vedanta Satsang batch 2. And it is very important for us to really stay connected after God and godliness, as well as the architecture of scriptures, those two topics that were covered on the first two sessions, intro sessions. Let us, watch out for what's being unveiled for us, what's being unraveled for us in today's intro session in terms of the Joyful Vedanta concept. And after that is done, there will be a small little time for us for a very quick reflection from you, the learners, as to what you thought or what you took away, or what questions got posed, or what questions got answered, if any, in your mind. We will spend little time on reflecting about the three sessions. And right after that, we will again let Ranga tell us what's going to come up as far as season 2 is concerned, or what additional details we will have, and what next from here. And most importantly, we will close the session with ample time for question and answer in terms of the season 1 that we have just gone through or going through, completed today. As I posted in the WhatsApp group, today's session, we expect from an organizer core team point of view that the 72 of us now on this may have a lot to share, or may have a lot to question or seek answers for. So we have decided to open the window for an additional 30 minutes. I seek your forgiveness in case you have any additional things to attend to after 10 o'clock, which is the normal schedule time that we publish. But as an exception today, we'll keep the session on until 10:30 to give sufficient time for any one of you to ask questions and seek clarifications. So without much further ado with this agenda, I would request Ranga to start today's topic.
Yeah.
Over to you, Ranga.
Wonderful. Thanks, Ravi. Pranams, namaskaram. Welcome to everybody for this third introductory session. It's amazing. We thought about it, we planned it, we took some very important decisions that very quickly we do 3 introductory sessions, and now we are already on the 3rd introductory session. I mean, as somebody said very nicely, by the time I realized, I think the whole life is over. So we are in this kind of a journey. So let's make sure that we are joyous and happy and peaceful during this entire journey. So in this session, we will address a very key question as to what is the fundamental problem. If you would recall, I think that's what is it. So let me share a presentation. Just give me a moment. I'll share the presentation. Is my presentation visible?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm just putting it on show mode. Is it on full screen?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, wonderful. Thank you. And just let me adjust the windows. Yeah. Okay. Thanks to Rajesh, who was proactive in giving me 2 very important feedback. One is how to make sure that I see the participants and also have the screen on full screen mode. He also gave me a feedback on lighting, and I think a lot of work has gone behind making sure that the lighting is fine for the session so that no reflections are seen in my eyeglasses. So thank you so much, Rajesh, for the wonderful feedback. Now, so what is it that we're going to do in this session? Very quickly, as I do every time, we'll take a few minutes to recap what we did in the last session. This is just to make sure that what has gone a little deeper into our minds can be brought out so that we are on the same page. So in the last session, titled Architecture of Scriptures, we saw what Shastras was, basically to teach, to save the human beings from the problem, right? Then we saw the 6 layers of the architecture, the Vedas, the Sutras, the Smriti, the Puranas, the Itihasas, and the Bhashyas. Bhashyas being the commentary, and then we saw there are commentary over commentary and so on. We saw that in the Mahabharata Itihasa, there was Bhagavad Gita, and even though Bhagavad Gita comes as part of the Itihasa layer, we saw that it's actually a very crisp and essence of the Vedas itself, right? So it can actually be mapped to Vedas rather than on the Itihasa layer, right? Then we also saw that the Bhashyas were across all the layers. So commentaries are written on Itihasas, commentaries are written on Puranas, commentaries are written on Sutras. We have Shankara Bhashyam on say Bhagavad Gita, or we have Bhashyams on Brahma Sutras. So similarly, we have commentaries on Vedas also. So Bhashyas layer actually covering across all the layers is what we saw. Now, before I go to the next session, I have posted this in the WhatsApp group. But those of you who have not seen it, a very, very special thanks to the learners from different faiths who have joined this journey. It means a lot to us. Believe me, it means a lot to us. In fact, some people had written to me on the personal window saying they are agnostics, they are non-believers, but they are thoroughly enjoying the journey because it is completely knowledge-based. So my special thanks to all of you who are from different faiths who have joined this journey. As I posted in the WhatsApp group, please permit me to repeat that wonderful experience I had when I was in college first year. There was an old man who came to my house and I told him that astrology is all bullshit. This is exactly what I said to him. I thought he was going to agree, but he didn't. He just smiled and he gave me a very deep life lesson that day, saying, to enjoy music, you don't need music knowledge. But to critique music, I think you need deep music knowledge. Now, today you're critiquing astrology. How much of astrology do you know? Then I suddenly realized that I've actually not read any books on astrology. I've really not subscribed to any news articles on astrology. I've not had a deliberation discussion with any of the astrology specialists, but I'm just holding a judgment in my mind. And that kind of opened my eyes to say that how much of judgments I must have developed over the years. And these judgments are without any basis of knowledge, relevant knowledge, right? So I express my gratitude once again to that wise man who kick-started my knowledge journey. This was several years ago, right? And so I'm sure people from other faiths have joined here purely for the knowledge. So thank you so much for joining. Special thanks to all of you. So in this session, we will see what is a fundamental human problem. What is joy eluding us? What is peace eluding us? Right? Many people who say I'm very peaceful, when you look at their face, you know they're not peaceful, they're not joyful, right? When somebody says, how are you? I've seen people saying, I'm not part of the world. But when it's simple, you know, they are somewhere very underground, right? So why is peace eluding us? Why do we feel insecure? Right? When, in fact, I've seen people feeling insecure when their colleague gets promoted in the office. The child feels insecure when some other child is praised. Okay, so what is it that we feel insecure? I think we need to know this. Then is free will or everything is destined, right? Is everything destiny? I think these are very deep questions. So we'll try and understand some of these questions, if not all, to the first level of detail. Okay, so before I proceed, just a quick check. Am I visible? Am I audible?
You're visible, Ranga, but somewhere I see a little bit voice is not very clear today.
Is it others are also facing the same problem?
I see two more people are messaging the same thing. Audio clarity.
Yes, Ranga.
Yes.
Yes, Ranga, yes. Not clear.
Audio is not clear, is it?
Yeah.
Yes, more of echo.
Echoing, yeah.
More of
Correct.
Echo.
more of echoing. Okay. Can you just give me a second? Maybe you could pause the recording. I'll just hold on for a second. I'll just close the window once. Just give me a second. I'll check this out. I will stop the share. How is it now?
Yes, it's better.
Okay.
This is very good, Ranga.
Yeah, this is fine now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is something we keep checking very often. So if my voice is not audible at any time, or if my video goes off, please unmute yourself and give me the feedback without waiting for me to ask you, please. Is it okay?
Yes.
Extra volume will be comfortable.
Sorry?
Slight increase in volume will be comfortable. Ranga.
Yeah, okay. It is already 100%. So I presume that's a maximum. Maybe I could keep the microphone closer and speak. Okay, thank you. So I will assume that until you stop me and give me feedback, things are fine. That's an assumption with which I'll proceed. right, Ravi?
Okay, Ranga.
Thanks. So what is the fundamental problem? If you look at humans as a species and say animals as a species in a typical Venn diagram, there are a few things that are common, right? Ahara Nidra Baya Maituna. There is a shloka which says Ahara Nidra, that is food and sleep, Baya, that is fear, and Maituna, which is a procreation, the need to spread your species, right? These are common across animals and humans. Okay. And to this, I will also add a little bit of learning, which is common between animal species and humans. For example, crows, which are very intelligent species. The first story we would have heard as a child is crows throwing stones into a pot of water and raising the water, drinking it. Or we have dogs, pets at home that can be trained. We have dolphin shows. If you have watched dolphin shows in the US or in Singapore, you will know that dolphins can be trained so beautifully. So there is a bit of learning that humans can do and animals also can do, right? But there is one aspect which is distinctly different from humans and animals. As per the shloka, it is what they call dharma. But I think we need to understand that word very correctly, right? Let's, for the sake of convenience right now, we will call it the rational faculty. Of course, one bit of rational faculty is learning, right? So because we're very rational, we logically analyze and we realize there is no point in doing it. There are enough research done on monkeys in terms of how they learn just by past experience. So rational faculty, one element is learning, which I've already added in the common group. There are other elements of rational faculty which will not fall into the common group, which will fall exclusively into the human species. Okay. Now we need to understand what that rational faculty is. Now, animals' behaviors. Animals also have emotions. They get hostile, right? And animals feel sad. You can see this in pets crying when the master passes away, right? So animals have emotions. And in fact, plants also have emotions. If you have read the book, The Secret Lives of Plants, you will know how a plant gave wonderful reactions when a culprit or a suspect was brought into that room where the owner of the plant was murdered, right? So plants wherein you treat the plant as human, you talk to the plant, you nourish the plant, those plants grow very well. There is enough research that plants respond to music very well. In fact, Dr. Balamurali Krishna has done a lot of research on that, right? So plants have mind, the plants have emotions, animals have mind, animals have emotions, but the only difference is everything that an animal goes through seems to be completely programmed, right? We seem to have, as human species, a little choice, okay? We can decide for ourselves whether we can go this way or that way. We can decide whether we need to shout or we don't need to shout. So there seems to be some choice-based behaviors which we seem to have as human species, which is directly coming from what in the earlier slide you saw as a rational faculty, right? Now, let's understand this rational faculty a bit more. Okay. The first attribute of this rational faculty, I'm going a little slow deliberately because I want time to sink this in. Because I have attended this one particular workshop and session several times, it took me time to actually sink it in terms of what it means, right? They say that if you want to understand symptoms, if you have a disease, you go to a doctor. He looks at the symptoms, but he actually tries to treat the cause. Symptoms can also be treated by painkillers, but the root cause need to be killed. So we need to understand what is a fundamental problem that we face on a day-to-day basis in life, right? Like we have a fight with the spouse, we have a fight with the children, we have disagreements with somebody, our likes and dislikes are different. So why do we have all this? I think we need to keep going back to the root to figure out, and then handle it at the root so that it becomes easier for us to lead our life joyfully and peacefully. So this rational faculty generates what is called self-consciousness, right? And self-consciousness is given. I think it's important to know this. It is part of the intelligence. It is part of the orders, right? For example, we are given 2 hands and 2 legs. It's given to us. That's it. Now, what we do with it, we have a choice, right? A pair of eyes is given to us, and we have the power to see also. That's also given to us. We have the power to hear with a pair of ears. That's also given to us, right? We have an ego that's been given to us. We have a set of emotions, say exactly 9 emotions, and that's been given to us, right? So a lot of things are just given to us. That's it. The more we deeply understand what is given to us, we understand that we can't have control on it. That's it. Okay. Yes, I have a pair of eyes that can see. I have the freedom of choice to close my eyes. That choice I have, like Gandhari did for the rest of her life after marrying Dhritarashtra, right? So I have certain choices, but those choices does not in any way control what is given. What is given is what is given. That's it, right? So the self-consciousness is given to us. Okay. How much ever we may say, oh, how I wish I didn't have this self-consciousness, etc., etc. It's like saying how I wish I don't have an ego, or how I wish I don't have a pair of hands. So we may wish. That's just wishful thinking. But we have to accept what is given to us. That's given to us is self-consciousness is given to us. Okay. Now, what does this self-consciousness do to us? Logically, the next step. This leads us to comparisons. Okay. We compare ourselves with ourselves. We compare ourselves with others. We compare others with us. We compare others with others. All the comparisons happen because of what is given to us, which is self-consciousness, right? Whether the self-consciousness is a blessing or it's a curse, we will see later. Okay, but first let's understand what is given to us. Okay. Animals don't seem to have this problem. Seriously. Okay, like I don't think an animal compares itself with another animal. Like a dog compares itself with donkey and say I'm a better species, right? One dog comparing itself with another dog, right? Or I don't think a white cow will have a complex over a black cow, right? There is no comparison. There is no superiority, inferiority feeling, because the self-comparison leads to self-judgments. So we also compare and we also judge. We judge ourselves, we judge others. In fact, one child came and told me, my mother constantly compares me with my sister, right? One boy told me, my mother constantly compares me with my sister, and that's really hurting me. So I turned around and asked the boy only one question. Let's assume that nobody compares you with others. Will you stop comparing yourself with others? And the boy thought for a while and said, no, I don't. I said, do you feel superior or inferior to somebody? Forget about what others do to you. And that little boy told me, yeah, I feel inferior because I'm short, the other guy is tall. Okay. And I feel inferior because I have dark skin, the other guy is looking fair skin. Now, where is this comparison coming from? This comparison is not coming from parents. This comparison is not coming from the society. This comparison is coming from inside. And that judgment, that self-judgment, right, is driven by the self-consciousness, which is given. We can't do anything about it, right? The very purpose of knowledge is to know things as they are. That's it. So that we know how to work around it. We know how to deal with it. right? Fine. For example, somebody said, you throw a stone, you throw a pebble into water, and there are a lot of, wrinkles. Can you touch the water and stop the wrinkles from coming? Can you touch the water? No, because the more you touch it, the more it will get disturbed, right? So I think if we understand the nature of water, we understand the nature of a lot of things as it is, what is given, the way we deal with it will be very different, right? So which means when we compare ourselves with others, or when others compare themselves with us, or when others talk to us in a very comparative term, we should just smile and say, Ishwara's order. That's a niyati, as people from Jain religion would call it, right? It's just niyati, that's it, right? Now, we are able to accept it comfortably and say, oh, okay, fine. I think this is why it's happening, right? Okay. Now, this self-consciousness leading to self-comparisons, leading to self-judgments, okay, which is equally true for judging others, is equally true for judging ourselves in relation to others, right? In fact, the entire performance appraisal system in the organization is based on this principle, right? We have relative scale, we have relative grading. How did I perform as compared to somebody else? It's not absolute grading, right? I'm sure most of you who are into corporate will know the bell curve, right? So the normalization process and so on and so forth. So the whole system, whether it's corporate system or other systems, have evolved around with the basic tenet that there is comparison. Okay. Now, right now, there's a lot of WhatsApp posts which are being posted. Imaginary conversation between Rishi's mother and Sundar Pichai's mother, right? And the one that I read was Rishi's mother telling Sundar Pichai's mother, my son has become the prime minister of a nation. What about your son? And Sundar Pichai's mother says he's still in the alphabet stages, right? Of course, pun intended. So I think we tend to compare no matter what level we reach, right? In fact, in ashrams, when we go to ashrams, we have found people who are saints, okay? They're wearing orange robe and they have taken sannyasa, they're saints, but they still compare themselves with someone else, right? In fact, Vishwamitra had this huge problem with Vasishta, right? And whether Vasishta is a Brahma Rishi, so Vishwamitra fought hard for getting a Brahma Rishi title and he could not, right? So I think it doesn't matter what level we reach, this basic driver will drive us. It calls for awareness as the first step to solve this fundamental problem. Okay, first step is awareness. We will also see how to handle it. Okay, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be an overnight thing, right? And there are no medical solutions for this, right? So we just need to handle this. We just need to learn how to handle this, and a sadhana proceeds over a period of time, right? Now, there are some issues that come from this. Because of all these comparisons and judgments, we have self-esteem issues. You start feeling low, right? Or you start feeling overconfident. You start feeling arrogant, right? Luckily, this problem is not there with animals. Right? Have you ever heard of a donkey going to a counselor with a low self-esteem? Right? Of course, there are some people who come to me for counseling. I do feel they're donkeys, but that's a different story. Right? Now, animals don't have this problem of low self-esteem and high self-esteem and all that issues, right? There is no superiority, inferiority, complexes, because all these complexes come because we compare and we judge, right? I am fat, I am dark, I am short, I am tall, right? So all these judgments which come to our mind, not necessarily given by outside world. That's what I want to drive home here. Not necessarily given by the outside world. What kind of triggers inside us is coming from this. And of course, that in turn leads to emotions like fear. Sometimes when you feel somebody, when you're surrounded by people who you think are very superior to you, You start feeling inferior to them. Fear gets triggered, right? Like will I survive with these people, right? In fact, there's a very famous acronym these days it is used, which is FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. Right? In WhatsApp, you're a member of multiple groups. You don't want to exit them because you're worried if you will miss out something. Right? So there's something called fear of missing out. FOMO is driving us. Jealousy is a normal emotion that gets triggered because of this comparisons. Because when someone else gets something which we don't have, we either get inspired and set an ambition to reach there while feeling happy for the other person, or we feel jealous. In fact, sometimes you go down to the level of pulling the other person down to our level, right? So that happens. In fact, you will see this in corporate houses. Political games happen. People who can't reach a particular position pull everybody else down, right? And games they play. So all this is coming from one given attribute, which is self-consciousness. First, let's understand that well. Pride also comes as an emotion. Anger comes as an emotion when others achieve something that I'm not able to achieve, right? All these are natural processes that are getting triggered day in and day out inside our mind. We go through this a million times every day, right? Now, I think what is the choice we have? Okay. What happens because of all this? Because of all this, we set something called pursuits. We can call it goals. We can call it by whatever name. You can call it targets. You can call it desires. You can call it aspirations, right? But they all come from the root is this principle which is given to us. Okay. Now, these pursuits, we have a choice, right? It's coming from what's called free will, right? I may have a need for a smartphone, but I may actually desire an iPhone, right? I may have a need for a laptop, but I may desire a Mac, right? I may have a need for a house where I can feel safe, but I may desire a 30, 40 floor building, right? Now, I think we have choices, right? An aspiration to have a Benz car, right? An aspiration to have multiple houses. In fact, I know of a professor, who has a very interesting goal. During a coffee conversation, I was talking to him and I asked him, so what are you doing right now? He said, I'm going to Hyderabad to register a property. I said, wow, congratulations. He said, what congratulations? I have a goal that I should have a house in every city in India. Okay. Now, he was serious about it. And he already has a house in about 10, 12 cities in India, right? I was just thinking to myself, my naughty mind was thinking, thank God he's not having a goal that he should have a family in every city, right? So I think we all have choices. We all pursue things, right? And all that pursuits, which are choices, and we are unable to exercise those choices because many of the pursuits we have are coming from comparisons with the world. What someone else has, which I want to have, right? Yeah. In fact, I was asking somebody, you have reached a position of a CEO in a company. So what next? So he smiled and said, hey, Ranga, you know what? I think everybody who works as a CEO in a company ultimately want to start something on their own. So I want to start something on my own. I said, but why do you want to start something on your own? I want to start something on my own because I want others to perceive that I'm growing. So it is because you want to perceive that someone else is growing, or you want to perceive that others think that you're growing, right? I think a lot of these thought processes which come out in our mind, we need to be aware. That's all. In case of an animal, it just does it without awareness. The reason it's completely programmed. The animal behavior is a programmed behavior. Animal learning is also part of the programming. right? It's completely driven by software. But whereas human, there is a difference in human learning and human behaviors, which is coming from the free will, which is coming from this. So I think the fundamental difference between the human species and the animal species, which is dharma according to that shloka. But we need to understand what that dharma actually means. Dharma is basically a choice between the appropriate behavior and an inappropriate behavior. Let me repeat. Dharma is a framework where we talk about an appropriate choice we make vis-a-vis an inappropriate choice we make, right? And dharma and karma are connected. Of course, we'll come back to the karma sessions a little later in the season 2, right? So the consciousness with which we can operate, can I convert it to a blessing rather than be cursed by it, right? When I go through all these comparisons, sometimes I feel the pressure is too high, the stress is too high because I need to beat somebody in the race. Instead of that, can I say the self-consciousness is not a curse, the self-consciousness is a blessing, the free will that we have is a blessing. Can I enhance my awareness and can I use the free will correctly to be able to take the right choices, thereby doing something very interesting. I want you to look at the picture that I'm showing. Thereby doing what? Thereby slightly weakening the connection, if not removing the connection. What's the meaning of weakening the connection? Yes, I am self-conscious, that is given to me. I can't remove it. But with awareness, deep awareness of this self-consciousness, can I learn, practice, do a sadhana to stop the comparisons that come in my mind, or to at least reduce it, even if it comes automatically. Right? Can I start to feel good about myself, irrespective of what the rest of the world tells me? Can I get into a meditation where I say, I am fine as I am? Let's assume that the world has thrown rotten tomatoes on me. The world has thrown all kinds of garbage on me. The world has made me feel absolutely silly and simple and made me feel so small. Can I get into a meditation and tell myself a self-talk which says, I think I am fine by myself, right? Because this comes from a very deep awareness, right, of what is given, right? So can I weaken the connection? Can I stop judging others, right? In fact, we have very peculiar, silly situations that arise at home, right? At creation, everybody is different. Likes and dislikes are different. I'm using the word likes and dislikes in English. As we move to season 2, I'll start using the correct Sanskrit words, the raga dveshas. The raga dveshas are different for different people. So for my eyes, green will look fantastic. For someone else's eyes, blue will look fantastic. Green will look horrible. Right? So when I pick up a green dress, I feel damn good about it. But somebody may say, Ranga, why did you pick up such a horrible shirt? You should have picked up blue. Now, when this happens, automatically, I know anger may get provoked, right? Can I get that awareness into my head and at that time just smile and say, oh, you love blue, is it? Oh, lovely. Blue is a nice color. But continue to feel good about that green that you have, right? So I think this awareness will only help us to reduce. I won't even say minimize. Okay, that's a long way. To reduce the self-judgment, reduce the self-comparison, reduce the others' judgment, reduce the others' comparison. Weakening that link. Can we do that? I think that's one of the very powerful ways by which we can apply Vedanta on a day-to-day real life basis, right? Applying Vedanta is very simple. In fact, there was a question whether the Sanatana Dharma is religion agnostic, right? That means, is it independent of the religions? Yes, it is, because we are talking of certain truths of the universe. In whatever religion, the same message is conveyed, maybe in different words, maybe in different contexts, but the message conveyed is the same, right? So when we understand this truth, it is truth of a human being. It has nothing to do with their religion here, right? So we're trying to understand the truths. So with this awareness of Vedanta, where such truths are understood deeply, with awareness, with sadhana, which means with practice, we can dilute, weaken some links which seem to cause problems in life. Right? I've seen within families, husband and a wife competing with each other, working for the same organization, maybe working for a competing organization. And they're competing with each other. Who is getting a better increment? Right? Yeah. We have, in fact, I know a family where the parent is competing with the child because the child is grown really well. Right? So I think all this is coming out of ignorance. They say the fundamental problem is ajnana. Ajnana is ignorance. Jnana is knowledge. Right? Ajnana is a fundamental problem. What is ajnana? Ajnana of what? Ajnana of the truths. Right? And acceptance of the truths, that no matter how hard I try, I cannot change the gravity. No matter how hard I try, I cannot stop water from boiling at 100 degrees C. Right? So accepting the truths, knowing the truths first level, accepting the truths the second level, third, with that awareness, living a day-to-day life with the logical triggers which are coming and managing them better, right? In fact, the emotional order, you remember the session that I did, introductory session 1, I made a statement that I cannot force an emotion onto myself, nor can I stop an emotion from coming to me. Yeah, I cannot stop anger from coming to me. I cannot stop it. But once I get the anger with awareness, I know how to manage it. That I can try, right? That's why they say, you can't stop getting angry, but you can stop staying angry, right? Fine. You cannot stop getting angry, but you can stop staying angry. You cannot stop feeling jealous, but you can stop staying jealous, right? You cannot stop getting fear. You can stop staying in that fear, right? So I think we have that freedom to choose, right? And then to move forward, right? Now, let me spend a little more time on the pursuits, okay? The goals that we have. We keep on setting some goals, right? Year on year. This year, $100 million. Next year, 20% growth. Next year, 15% growth. Competitor is growing at this percent. We must grow at. So we have pursuits. We all keep seeking them, right? I want to possess something. I want to possess a Benz car. I want to possess a company. I want to possess a house, right? Or I want to see and feel. Like I want to feel what it is to have a free fall from a aircraft. Okay, I've seen some people do that in National Geographic, and I want to feel it. I want to feel what it is to take a river rafting in Ganges and Rishikesh. Right? I want to feel it. Or I want to be better than somebody. I want to be better than what I was earlier, or I want to be better than somebody else. Right? I want various achievements. I want prize. I want dignity. I want a Padma Bhushan award. I want to be recognized by the world. Right? All that, everything that comes. In fact, sometimes people even have a goal of self-actualization. If you know Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? So people grow to self-actualization, and they say, "I want to know my purpose in life." Right? Yeah. And they go in search of a guru. In fact, my guru Puja Swami always used to say, "Don't do guru shopping. Don't go around looking for gurus." Right? So people say, "I'm yet to find my guru. I'm yet to find my guru. Will someone show me my guru?" One guy put a mirror in front and said, "See your guru inside." Right? So I want a purpose. I want to know what my calling is in life. Now, all of these are all pursuits. All of these are desires. In fact, some people have a pursuit. I want to let go. I don't know how to let go. I want to let go. Right? They say that knowledge makes you acquire a lot of things. Wisdom makes you let go of things that you have acquired. Right? So I want to let go. In fact, some people say, I want moksha. Moksha itself is a desire. It's also a pursuit. Right? So I think if you carefully see, we cannot stop these pursuits. I would say, unfortunately, animals don't have it. Some people say, fortunately, animals don't have it. At least they are better. No, but I would say, unfortunately, because the self-consciousness leading us to self-comparisons, etc., I think it's a great blessing given to us. It's because of that we can make choices in life. Right? Right. In fact, that helped me to make the choice of starting Joyful Vedanta too. That helped you to make the choice of attending it. Right? So the free will that is there, it's just there. We can use it as a blessing or we can use it as a curse. It's our choice. Right? Question is, can we count the desires we have? Can we enumerate the desires we have? No. It keeps on coming. Every day some 10 desires keep hitting us. Right? So can I be without desires? So one person said, I will not make New Year resolution. But that's a New Year resolution he made. Right? That he will not make New Year resolution. Unlike any other resolution, he did not keep that also. Okay. So not having desires is also a desire. In fact, why would you want to say, I don't want to have desires? Desires is a great power given to you, Ichcha Shakti. What is so wrong in having desires? But am I directing it? Am I in control? Or the comparisons and judgments, that is in control? To put it in very simple terms, is my intellect in control or is my ahamkara in control? Right? Let me repeat. Is my intellect in control or is my ahamkara in control? Am I taking decisions based on what my ego drives me to? Or am I taking decisions based on an objective analysis? Right? Am I taking decisions based on knowledge or am I taking decisions based on an emotion? Based on a judgment that someone gave me? Right? So, as far as our scriptures are concerned, I am a little behind time. Okay, I'm behind about 5 minutes. This session is a little shorter because I want to spend quality time describing about this journey into the season 2. Okay, I want to spend some quality 10 minutes explaining that to you. So I wanted to do this session in 50 minutes, but I think I'm a little behind time. But let me complete what I'm doing. Right? This entire pursuits, human pursuits, are called as purusharthas in our scripture. When you understand purusharthas well, we will know how awfully short the Maslow's hierarchy of needs falls. Okay, because that's looking at the needs of a human being in a very, very, very narrow manner as compared to a very deep way of looking at it from our scriptural point of view. Right? I have nothing against Maslow, but I just wanted to share that with you. Right? Purusharthas with 2 capital A's, which means extended vowel. Right? In translation becomes human pursuits. So human pursuits have been found to be into 4 categories. The first category is artha. Artha means security. Now, I seek something to feel secure. Okay. Like I feel insecure because of weather, that I may catch a virus, so I buy a mask, right? And so that's the purchase of a mask is coming from insecurity, right? Purchase of your oxygen meter, purchase of your temperature tracker, everything is coming from artha, that is security need, right? We seek a lot just to feel secure. That's it. Like you create a corpus, you want to feel secure that your old age is taken care. You take an insurance because you want to feel secure that your medical bills are covered, right? We go for executive health checkup. We want to feel secure that everything is fine. So there are many things that we seek, which is purely based on artha, which is security. But that is not the only thing we seek. We also want to seek kama. Many people think kama is sex, lust. No, it is not. Kama is comfort, entertainment, joy. They're all kama. Okay. So I want the most comfortable bed for me is kama. I want to go out on every weekend and have fun, kama. Right. I want the best of seats in my car, so I go for a leather seat in my car. That is kama. Right. We want to feel comfortable. We want to be happy. Right. If you look at it carefully, the purpose of this journey itself is two important words: to lead life peacefully and joyfully. Peace more comes from the artha. Okay. Because many of the non-peace in the head happens because of anxiety, because of fear, because of uncertainty of the future, right? So artha kama put together, right? So basically kama is comfort, entertainment, joy, everything. And according to our scriptures, this is where we are far ahead, way ahead of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. They say very nicely that these two keep feeding into each other. Now, what's the meaning of these two keep feeding into each other? I buy a house to feel comfortable. I may also have the house for security. But the moment I buy a house, I feel insecure, and so I buy a lock. Okay. But in the house, there is a lot of sunlight. So I want to feel comfortable, so I buy an AC. But I am worried whether the AC will conk off. So I take an AMC for the AC, okay, which is an artha need, which is security need, right? Now, I want to maintain the various objects in my house, so I hire a maid or somebody. But to make sure that the maid stays with me or she doesn't fall sick, I take an insurance for her. Right? I install a CCTV camera coming from artha again. Right? I have a security guard for all the things that I have acquired for security. Right? Suppose I have a UPS system in my house, and I have a security guard to protect the UPS. Right? And I take an insurance for the security guard. Now, if you look at it carefully, it's a never-ending loop. Right? You seek kama, you seek comfort, and you feel that comfort is not enough because somebody else has a better comfort. Right? So you also want that. Right? Now, I think artha kama, we keep going into this chakkar for the whole life. Right? And we suddenly realize that there is no end to this feeling insecure. There is no end to this feeling comfortable. So what is comfortable? Right? Today we are in a world of everything is so convenient, right? You don't even have to swipe a credit card. You just walk across a counter. The Wi-Fi will, will scan the credit card and your money is taken out of. So you feel very, very convenient about it, right? You don't have to do anything. Everything is convenience based. Whole Google and everybody are researching on how in one click they can reduce the balance in your bank account, right? That click can be accidental also. Yeah. So the comfort has reached a level where there is no end to it. Yeah, we seem to be in that artha kama loop, which we never get out of, right? And of course, in the whole process, somewhere, we try to get out of the chakkar and we get into a pursuit of dharma. Now, this pursuit of dharma is, if when I desire a Benz car, it is something visible, it is in front of me. In Sanskrit, what is visible is called drishta. Okay, the benefits I get are drishta. That means I get the benefit of traveling in a Benz car. Right? When I see the jealousy on my neighbor's eyes, it makes me feel good. Right? So the benefits I get out of the comfort I reach or drishta. That means it is visible. It's audible. All the five senses, right? But there are times when I also seek some benefits which are adrishta. When the prefix added, it becomes opposite of the word, right? So drishta, adrishta, right? Adrishta is I want some benefits which are not seen. I want some benefits which are really long term, right? And you have an understanding that birth and death is a cycle and you're across time, right? I want to make sure that my next birth is also fine. So I want to secure something for my next birth. So I want to do some good karma so that it gives me karma pala. So all this which is there in the head, you suddenly start doing things and you realize that you are gathering certain benefits inside a seed, right? And that inside the seed, what is there is not seen. Like we saw in the first session, the intelligence which is there inside a seed to become a tree, not seen. It is adrishta, right? So I want to keep adding to that adrishta, right? Suddenly you say, I want to do good deeds. Suddenly you say, I want to work for the whole world. I want the universe to be safe because of me, right? I think all these thoughts start entering your mind and you set some goals which are very different. That's all. But you still set goals on it. You still are in the Purushartha cycle. You're never out of it still, right? So dharma is basically a righteous way to live. Like I don't want others to hurt me, so I will not hurt others. Simple dharma pursuit, right? Even a thief doesn't want things to be stolen from him, right? But he's a thief. Yeah. So I think dharma is a pursuit. It's a purushartha, which means when the dharma, the artha kama loop, somewhere you weaken that loop and you start looking at things as to what's the right way to live life. Right? How do I contribute to the planet? How do I contribute to this universe? You start focusing not on taking from outside, you start focusing on giving to outside, right? And that's a dharma pursuit. Of course, after all this, the most important pursuit that all of us have is, in any case, I'm having this perennial cycle of birth and death, birth and death, birth and death. Can I escape from that cycle? If you look at that image carefully, you see a bird getting out of the sucker, right? What is the point? So at some point in time, you say, no, I want to get out of this chakra. So I have now a much bigger desire, which is called moksha. Big words, right? Yeah. So I think we all go through this. There's not a single exception to this. Everyone go through this. But there is a difference. The difference is you look at it as a blessing. You look at the self-consciousness as a blessing or a self-consciousness as a curse. Do you realize that when others compare you and when you compare yourself, you realize that, oh, it's coming from order and I have a choice of changing this. So when somebody compares you with somebody else, can I smile instead of getting angry? That smile will come out of awareness. When I set a goal because my neighbor has got something, can I smile and say, do I really need this? If I don't need this, it doesn't matter how many neighbors have it, I will not have it. Can I make that choice? Which means I am slowly moving away from being driven by ahamkara, which is ego, which is more closer to an animal trigger, which is instinctive. I'm sure you can relate to all these words because of the previous sessions. Can I shift myself to an intellect plane and say, my choices are going to be objective. My choices are coming from free will. My choices are not going to come from self-consciousness, triggering trust, judgment, triggering triggering self-comparison, triggering self-judgment. I will not allow it to happen. Can I become aware believe me, out of 10 times, this awareness will come once and you're lucky. For a long period of time, the awareness will stay at only once out of every 10. You're lucky. Right? But of course, you become a saint when this awareness is there completely at all times in front of you. And you focus on trivial, you focus on what is it that you have in front of you, and you can make a choice. Right? Yeah. We keep giving excuse to ourselves. I'm not comfortable, Ranga. I'm not comfortable, Ranga. I can't do this. I just can't be like this. Can you pause for a minute and say, why are you not comfortable? Can you get comfortable? Do I really need this? This is a practical application of Vedanta into day-to-day life. Amount of peace it will give you by removing stress, the amount of joy it will give you by removing sadness and sorrow and jealousy and other emotions. Kama, krodha, moha, lobha, madha, matsarya. Everything will go out of the way, provided we really take this awareness. Right? I'm so happy for Paddy asking that question, which made me post that video of Dandapani Swami. He says, mind doesn't wander. Mind is fine, static. It's awareness that wanders inside the mind. Right? So can I be the master of the awareness? Can I be the master of that light, the bundle of light that he talks about? I think that is the direct benefit of this entire journey, because this fundamental problem is just one that we have unfolded. There are many such fundamental things that we need to understand. And once we understand, the direct benefit that we get is we understand, we accept. And when we accept it, we can deal with the world, we can deal with ourselves far better. Right? So this is the journey that we are actually talking about, right? I consciously chose 3 very important topics for the 3 introductory sessions, right? And then we move on to season 2. So now I'm going to stop my presentation. I'm going to hand it over back to Ravi.